What is going on, ladies? This is Marcia here with another episode of Women Behind the Weights. Today, I'm visiting and meeting with Bunny from Ladystrong Fitness, Schaumburg. Today, we're going to be talking about her experience throughout her entire journey.
Welcome to the Women Behind the Weights podcast, where we empower and inspire women to lift both weights and their voices. Each week, we explore the incredible journeys of women who are breaking barriers in the fitness world and making their mark. Join us for insightful discussions, inspiring stories, and practical tips that you can apply in your own life. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting your fitness journey, there's something here for everyone. Tune in to discover the stories that will ignite your passion, uplift your spirit, and remind you that you are Lady Strong. Let's lift each other up, one conversation at a time.
Bunny, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Okay, I always ask the team who would be a great person to be on the episode, and lo and behold, it was a mutual agreement that you would be the next person from Schaumburg to share your story, which I'm really excited about. It's truly inspiring to say the least. But before we dive into that, I know who you are, but for our audience that's tuning in today, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So yeah, sure. I'm Bunny Smith. I am a corporate attorney. You may have seen me around. I'm also the weirdo that really likes to dance during our various workout sessions. I have a myriad of different interests, and the biggest thing about me is I still manage to find time to work out and travel a ton.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So we'll keep things confidential, but I think it's important to share you are still able to find time for yourself given the type of schedule that you have that's related to work. So let's touch bases on that. I know before we started recording this episode, you're like, I got a schedule coming up in India. I just got back from here and there. And it's like, you could come up with 1,000 excuses as why not to work out, but even still, you managed to find the time. So please, let's talk about that.
I mean, one of the biggest things for me in finding a place to work out was that it was going to be malleable because I have a really busy life and a busy travel schedule. So finding a group that was going to work with who I am at my base and not try to change that
Mhm,
was huge for me.
mhm.
So being able to have workouts that are at whatever time I can fit them in, whatever day I can fit them in, and even, you guys have given me an ability to work out when I'm traveling so that, last year I was gone from the United States for the entire month of November, and I still had workouts that I could rely on and keep me on my fitness journey.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because even inside our studio, some of our women still don't take advantage of that or know that it even exists. So, for anybody that's tuning in today, like, please take mental notes. The next time you have a trip like Bunny did, for if it's a week, 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, you do have an app that we provide those workouts for you. So, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. A couple other things too I want to touch bases on is your progress that you've made inside the studio, both scaled victories and non-scaled victories. So please share, let's share some of the wins in regards to that as well.
So, with regards to scale victories, that's the easiest one. From my absolute highest recorded weight in 2024, I've actually lost 50 pounds, which is huge. And that was actually with very minimal diet changes. That's from dedication to workout and just being like, hey, I'm going to eat more broccoli now. Cool. And then on top of that, my non-scale victories were what I came to the gym for in the first place. I really got sick of the fact that going upstairs hurt my knees, and when I was lying in bed, my shoulder would hurt because I didn't have enough muscle to keep it in place. And all of that's gone. Sure, my hamstrings are a little sore sometimes because, deadlifts are a thing. But at the end of the day, I would trade that a million times over because not having the day-to-day pain of, hey, I need to bend down to get something from the floor, or hey, I'm just waking up and haven't moved my body in a while is just a world of difference apart.
100%. So you've been a part of the community now for 2 years. It was June of 2024. So congratulations, you just celebrated your 2 year anniversary. But a couple questions I have for you is like, yeah, you're really comfortable and confident with coming in and out of the studio. But was there ever a time when you first started where you were hesitant or nervous or scared? And if so, please share.
Oh goodness, yes. For that first month, I mean, so not to make too much light of it, but I'm a big girl and walking into a fitness studio is really hard. personally, I've actually been laughed out of gyms before. Like, I've
Mm,
had to complain to management because people made fun of me.
mm.
And so I was really worried about coming into another place that is so fitness oriented because Tabata, CrossFit, those types of hit workouts often have a stigma about them that it's a tight-knit community and nobody can. I didn't find that at all. Ladystrong Fitness has been so welcoming and open. And in fact, when I was gone last year for so long, when I came back, people were like, "Oh, thank goodness. I was worried that you weren't going to come back. I've missed you so much." And that really speaks to the strength of the community, that
Yeah.
it really is a welcoming atmosphere and people want to see you there.
100%. I appreciate the vulnerability because a lot of people need to hear that. I did get a chance to look over your bio before we started this podcast. And correct me if I'm wrong, you did lose your father not that long ago. So my condolences. But I think it's also important to talk about because we do witness as the Green Squad team instances where they lose loved ones and it's kind of nerve-wracking because you can get down a rabbit hole where it's hard to come back from. And you mentioned that you did, but you're able to bounce back. So share some of those things that maybe if there's someone that's dealing with hardship or a lost one, like how can they work through that like you did?
Well, there's two main things that really brought me through that. One of which is the consistency for myself. I know that having something to focus on and release stress and allow me the freedom to just exist in place for a while was huge for me. And that way I'm not ruminating. I'm not thinking about the things that I have to do or the things that I have to get through for at least an hour out of my day, which is great.
Mhm.
And the other piece is I know my father. He was actually one of the first participants in the Chicago Marathon and ran
Oh,
the first
wow.
couple of years. Yeah. He also used to do century rides, which are 100-mile bike rides. And so I know that for him, he would have loved the fact that I'm pursuing these fitness goals, particularly in my 40s, because it means that there is a lifelong dedication to health, which he would have liked to see.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So, a couple other questions I have. I always ask every single person that comes on the episode. This is a two-part question. If there is any advice that you could give for maybe someone who's on the fence about joining Lady Strong Fitness, what would that be? What would that advice be? And on the opposite end of the spectrum, someone that's currently already a member, but they're struggling and maybe they've hit a plateau. How could they perhaps break that threshold with that? So, two-part question.
Okay, so the first part about nervous about joining. One of the big things that I was worried about is slightly different than other people. Some people come in and they go, "Hey, I've never done anything like this before. Like, how can I even make this reasonable?" And the cool part about Lady Strong is all of the coaches know how to make modifications. So I've been with you guys for 2 years, and yet, because of my shoulder injuries, because of other things, I do push ups from my knees. I do very good push ups, but I was told, hey, if this thing is a bother for you, you can have a modification. And that is a huge ego boost because it means that I'm not failing at anything. There is always a way to find success. And that's a huge relief to my, conscience.
For sure.
The second piece for people who are struggling, like they've hit a plateau or something, for me, that was sort of reevaluating sort of where my goals were and how I could do things. The two things that have helped me personally was I started looking at what my heart rate was during the various progress pieces. So, for instance, if it's an S2, S3 day, is my heart rate in line with my peers? Am I pushing hard? And actually, what I learned was I can actually lift heavier than I thought I could.
For sure.
I was just raising 25-pound dumbbells in military press yesterday. That is
That
insane
is
to me.
awesome. Yeah.
I came in lifting 5-pound weights. I don't know where that came from, but I learned that based on my data, I could push harder.
Yeah.
And then the other piece is looking at where I was from a body fat percentage. So using the scans that you guys do,
Mhm.
I could track data over time. I'm a
Mhm.
little bit of a data geek, but what it means is I can actually get external validation, not from people, but from data. And it's not the up, down of your weight from your scale,
Yeah.
but an actual measurable, hey, this is what you look like. So if there's something that you can change, we can find it.
Yeah. Speaking of in-body scans, what's really cool is that I've noticed that you're really consistent with your scans, and I did a little bit of homework prior to doing this podcast episode, and your last scan was just recently. I'm looking at it right now. It was July 26th, and you lost weight, which is great. It looks like your body fat stayed the same, which is okay, but the progress, right? A little bit like muscle mass was just a tad lost, but still, it's like things are still heading in the right direction. And looking at it from even like, weeks and months, it's still the numbers are going exactly where they need to be. So I think, you're not just a product of the product, but you're speaking like you are what you eat, essentially. Like you're doing all the right things. Okay. So, last question I have, and this is really cool, is that the last person that was on the episode, I asked, what question do you have for the next person on the episode? And that question is, what's one truth you've learned about yourself that you wish every woman discovered sooner?
The one truth that I would probably say for every woman to understand about themselves and the world around them actually is that more people are rooting for your success
Mm.
than you actually believe. There are more people that want to see you do the cool thing and get to the top of the hill and raise the higher weight than you even know. I was just lifting in the gym last night, and one of my friends, Jesse, looks over at me and goes, "Who are you doing deadlifts with two yellow kettlebells? Those are heavy."
Yeah.
And I got a high five. And like, I was in my own zone. I didn't even think about that. But that kind of recognition that everybody is there and they want to see you succeed
Yeah.
is such a boost. And I want people to know that's not me. That's everyone. We all want you to succeed and we're going to show it.
Yeah, man, that was good. Well, we're gonna drop the mic right there. I really appreciate you, Bunny, for coming on the episode today. And if there's one takeaway that anybody that's tuning in today can learn from, I really hope they do. So, ladies, thank you so much for tuning in of another episode of Women Behind the Weights. Have an amazing day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Women Behind the Weights podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights from today's episode. If you enjoyed the conversation, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more women like you. Don't forget to connect with us on social media for behind-the-scenes content and to join our growing community. Remember, we're all in this together, and every step you take brings you closer to your goals. Until next time, keep lifting those weights and your voices. You've got this.